Yo, what up? You already know. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying. As soon as I come out the gate, I'm coming swinging. You know what I'm saying? When I came out last time, they was like, they wasn't really feeling me the way I was coming out because, you know what I mean? The world was mine. You know what I'm saying? I'm not really on it like, if you don't like my live session, you know what I mean? You're gonna freeze me out or nothing. But you know what I'm saying? If the world is mine, this world is mine. You know what I mean? 196,940,000 square miles. The original man is set to reign the planet. You know what I'm saying? Don't hate on the black man's reign of the planet. When you're doing things that has to be accounted for, don't escape that by, you know what I mean, abandoning your identity and then coming back like, you know what I mean, nothing was said. So make your donations, 1000millionfoundation.com. You know what I mean? Let's square off on the chess chemistry and keep it butter. You know what I mean? The last YouTube channel that I created was Mad Butter. Subscribe, throw your likes, you know what I'm saying? Make sure you visit the channel, see what it's about. You know what I mean? It's mostly vehicles, it's mostly hip hop, you know what I mean? But it's based on, creativity, craftiness during the pandemic, being creative and coming out of there, you know what I mean? It's not based on, hating on the next man, when the next man is just, trying to make it like the next man, you know what I mean? But when I came out the gate last time, you see how I sounded, and you know what I mean? It was all butter, you know what I mean? So Novavax is the vaccine that's set to be approved by the Food and Drug Administration, and Novavax is going to be added to the list of Moderna, Pfizer, and Johnson & Johnson, FedEx, UPS, United States Postal Service. Now, everybody wants to know what's the best option, after you've been vaccinated. If you've never been vaccinated, what's the best option? You know what I mean? If you don't have no options currently that's feasible to the most feasible option is to implement my process of distribution where the stimulus check and the vaccine is in the same place. That's the most feasible option. Otherwise, you're just roaming around with Moderna over here, Pfizer over here, Johnson & Johnson over here, Novavax in the process of being somewhere, and that's just what's real. We're looking for perfection here. We're looking for a betterment of humanity. If you don't like the way I came out the last time, you know what I mean? Let's come up with a solution. Let's make some progress here. If you don't like the way I came out last time, then don't ignore a solution on the table. You know what I'm saying? When I'm saying I'm seeking funding for the distribution of the vaccine, it's within reason of coming up with a sound combination or a sound chemistry to create a better way of doing things. Nobody's created a better way of doing things. So when I show up with my creativity, you should respect that. You know what I mean? When I'm saying I got a gavel plaque that's being redone because of some changes that need to be made, and the current changes include Novavax, you're supposed to say, well, how real is that? I'm dealing with Nancy Pelosi on the Nancy Pelosi level, but I'm not getting Nancy Pelosi acknowledgement. I'm not getting acknowledgement of Congress, where if you got people dying with the process that you're using, then let's be more precise with the process that's being used. Let's advance to the next level. Let's go past go and get there. Let's get past where we are. You know what I mean? It's like I can come up with a solid strategy, solid plan for America to flourish and hate organizations, hate groups, just seem to dominate the mainstream some kind of way where, it shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't be like that. It should be like, if I come up with a sound chemistry, which I have, Moderna, Pfizer, Johnson and Johnson on the gavel plaque, meaning justice, law, order. You know what I mean? Talking about, equality, the distribution of the vaccine. You may not have came out, correct or the way you wanted to, but when you hear a correct solution, you're supposed to run with that. You're supposed to run with that, and we never look back if necessary. We're supposed to advance to the next level, not abandon our identities and just pray for the best. That's not going to get us nowhere in reality. In reality, we need to deal with our situation. When you heard how I came out the gate, you know what I mean? It's like the results. The results were as if the reactions were as if I said something wrong. You know what I mean? I didn't say nothing wrong. You know what I mean? This is 196,940,000 square miles broadcast. This broadcast is to reign over the planet Earth. Not to reign over the planet Earth, but to cover the territory of the planet Earth. You know what I'm saying? When I broadcast, my message is based on saying, listen, this is what it is. But since we're not going to the planet Earth completely, we're going to deal with let's deal with America. Let's deal with America. All right. Let's come up with a sound conclusion in America. The wall is being built. 365 days in a year, day and night, 4 seasons. All right. Now, the time of day is nearly nighttime. It's nearly nighttime right now. And let's say at night, in my music, I usually say, if you're under attack with a gun, your first move should be the night. That's a universal statement. If you're under attack with a gun, your first move should be the night. Because everybody heard that, on my first album, and that was crazy. Like nobody could figure out, what the night would reveal on your first move. You know what I mean? If you're under attack with a gun, your first move should be the night. Like, what's the answer to being under attack with a gun? You know what I mean? Moving around with a knife, So, saying that, not saying one thing or the other, just reflecting on my first album for a moment. But Novavax, let's stay focused on Novavax. Novavax is coming to the game. Novavax is coming to the game with being approved by the Food and Drug Administration. Now, when Moderna, Pfizer, and Johnson & Johnson came to the game, being approved by the Food and Drug Administration, they was only approved for emergency use, realistically. It wasn't approved for permanent use or without any doubt of any mistakes that would be made or anything. It was just based on emergency use. No other vaccine was out when Moderna, Pfizer, and Johnson & Johnson came out. So now that the other vaccines are out, Moderna, Pfizer, and Johnson & Johnson, Novavax has a comfort zone. We can't ignore Novavax having a way that Moderna, Pfizer, and Johnson & Johnson didn't have when they came into the game. When they came to the game, they had to figure out what was real and just come out, and go at it. That's how America had to do it. We didn't have no options. Now that Novavax is coming out with the Food and Drug Administration, now it's like, you know what I mean? Let me in here. Let me in here. Can I get in? But you know what I mean? They want to make money, most certainly. They want to make money. They it's a business. So when you take that into account, I'm a business. So when they coming in saying, all right, let us through, Food and Drug Administration, let us through, Moderna didn't have that. Pfizer didn't have that. Johnson didn't have that. They didn't have the comforts of, somebody being there. It wasn't nobody there. It was COVID-19 killing people. That was it. And they had to come to the rescue. So now when there's somebody there, COVID-19 doesn't have a presence like it had at first. Now it's like Novavax has a comfort zone. All right, so saying that to say, not a comfort zone to the extent of being at a disadvantage or being, weaker to the elements of Novavax. No, I'm talking about it has a comfort zone in a way that nothing was there initially. Now something is there. Somebody's, companies are there, and the fight is, it's a team effort. It was a team effort at first, but nobody knew what the results were going to reveal. Nobody knew exactly what was going to happen. So not knowing what's going to happen now is not as unpredictable as it was at first. So let's take into account that my business organizes and strategizes the delivery process. So when Novavax is showing up now, I have to take into account of the comforts that they have as opposed to initially there being no comforts, and strategize a way for that to exist within the environment of the other vaccines. It may sound like I may be overdoing it or over applying the situation, but this is real. If I made a mistake up to date in the delivery process and somebody didn't get the vaccine or got the vaccine and it was the wrong vaccine, I certainly would have been, blown off the stage. But that's not the case. This delivery process that I've handled up to date has a precision. There's a precision, and not only it has a precision, it has a more realistic precision to encounter for the future. It has a futuristic precision. When you have a gavel plaque, there's room for correction. There's room for judgment. There's room for error and judgment and keep moving. There's room for that with a gavel plaque. Now, with the process that I've composed, Moderna, Pfizer, Johnson, and FedEx, UPS, United States Postal Service, that composition on a plaque doesn't exist. Nobody else has it. I composed that. They need to respect my efforts to perfect a way to deliver an equal and fair vaccine process where none exists. When they came out with Moderna, Pfizer, and Johnson, they said, well, who needs the vaccine? We need the school teachers. The school teachers need the vaccine. The judges, the doctors, the police, the politicians. They came out like that, and they didn't have no order. Even if you was a politician, you may not have been a senior politician. You may not have been a senior teacher. You may not have been a senior police officer. When you got the chain of command in each district that you're in, there's room for precision in a way that if you just got on the job and got vaccinated, it wouldn't be the same as the person that's been on the job for 30 years and got vaccinated. When you have a gavel plaque does that. A gavel plaque says, well, listen, this precision is for these senior officers that are on duty here on the front line, and you're going to have to sit by the wayside where the students in school need the vaccine before the next in line chain of command. You know, it didn't have that type of precision. But when you got that type of precision now, that everybody's not just ultimately exposed to the virus the same way. You wear a mask and practice social distancing, you know how to deal with the situation a little more than it was at first. Nobody knew what it was and how to deal with it. Now that you know how to deal with it, it's like the precision is an approach to the betterment of humanity. The betterment of humanity is has a place, because when this process has never been perfected, follow my lead. Follow my lead. This process it can be perfected. It's a craft to a designer of chemistry. It's a craft. It has a channel that you can travel through with perfection in mind. When that chemistry wasn't present at first, initially, the chemistry was just haphazardly distributed in the vaccine. That was how, when they said the police, law enforcement, all of law enforcement. When they said doctors, all of doctors. When they said medical staff, all of medical staff. They didn't have a precision. I'm going towards a direction in the future where precision of the vaccine could mean longer lifespan, could mean better health. It could mean redirecting a virus that's in the United States to Alaska, and you know, it just sitting on the ice cap somewhere, you know, as opposed to not having any control over the virus at all. When you have a gavel plaque, you can change things digitally. You can digitally position things in different places where if you just left it like it is now, it's just freely floating around with no direction. A gavel plaque is one location, and everything else must follow the lead of the gavel plaque, of the gavel. The judgment, the decision making, the process involved in administering a vaccine to people. When you have all these differences of opinion, you have tall people, you have short people, you have fat people, you have skinny people. When you have all these differences of opinion, you have a vaccine that's not for everybody. You have a vaccine that's not a general applied vaccine. You have to figure out a combination of chemistry, a way of distributing, a way of applying, a way of administering the vaccine so that it comforts the people in a way that you have a better health, in a way that you live longer. We don't know if it hinders shortens your lifespan. There's so many uncertainties involved in just emergency use vaccines, and now we have Novavax. Novavax, we don't know exactly what the specifics are with Novavax, but the Food and Drug Administration is going to be responsible for approving Novavax for emergency use, of course. The same way Moderna, Pfizer, and Johnson & Johnson came into the situation. Emergency use, not permanent use, because we don't know how it affects all of humanity. America, we don't know how it affects Americans. Americans don't live like people in the Bahamas. Americans don't live like people in you know, on islands, on beautiful islands. Americans live like for the moment. We live for the moment. We seek happiness and liberty, but it's to the extent of having cars that burn fuel, having trains, buses, planes that burn fuel, and having those trains, buses, planes, and cars, we have pollution. We have densely populated areas. We have a way of life that's civilized in its context, but civilized in the way that in America we live like this. We live like this in America. Everywhere is not like America. So when you everywhere is not like America, when you're talking vaccines should reflect the environment that you're in. If you have a gavel plaque and the judges surround the gavel-like extremes of a gavel, what you have is you have the opportunity to say, put this over here, put that over here, put that over here. With precision, though. With precision. When you have judgment in place with a vaccine chemistry, you have precision of judgment. Put this over here. Don't put this there. Put that over there. But wait, hold up. You just started working. Stay over there. Stay in the office by yourself for a moment. They're on the front line. You go over there. You go over there. You get the vaccine. You go over there. The doctor, you doing the operation today. You take the vaccine. But the doctors that just started from college. Okay, we're going to get a chemistry going. Where we can move fluently. We're going to move fluently. We're talking the future, the betterment of humanity. We're not just talking about haphazardly distributing the vaccine, and that's the way it's done. That's not what we're talking about. A gavel plaque is serious. A gavel plaque is serious information that's in place that you don't follow. You around a gavel. You exposed to a gavel. You don't have no particular judgment in mind. When judges have gavels in the courtroom, they don't have any set way of doing things other than the law. They follow the law, but they don't have any. Well, we're going to give everybody that comes in here time today. We're going to slam the gavel when it gets noisy. We're going to slam the gavel when the sentence is rendered. We're going to slam the gavel. We're just going to play around with the gavel. That's not how things are done. Things are done around the gavel in a way that judgment is precise and it has room for correction. It has room for error, but very little error, because following that judgment, the appeal process. You have the appeal process. People come back to court and say, listen, you made a mistake on my sentence. When you slammed that gavel, you yelled at me. You yelled at me and you slammed your gavel and called me a name, and I want some time back. Whatever the difference is, it's room for correction. It's room for precision. So when you're dealing with a gavel plaque and a vaccine, now you're talking. This is $1.50. Mad butter. Now you're talking. I got a gavel plaque and I got a vaccine combination on the gavel plaque that I've composed, and I want to introduce it into the mainstream. And now we talking. Now you understand where I am. You didn't understand me at first. You just thought gavel plaque, vaccine, he's doing his own thing. That's not what I'm doing. That's not what I'm doing. You can understand me right now. Whether Nancy Pelosi is going to, fund my approach to the betterment of humanity, I have no idea whether Congress is going to take the initiative to say, this is a better way of doing things. I have no idea whether the United States Supreme Court is going to, render a decision in favor of my approach to the betterment of humanity. I have no idea whether the president is going to acknowledge my presence with a hip hop headquarters. This is before I even get to the hip hop headquarters stage. This is okay. When you have a hip hop headquarter in mind, people don't automatically accept your idea. They say a hip hop headquarter. Hip hop is hip hop. They just playing around. They buying cars, jewelry, and going to jail from time to time. They're not thinking hip hop headquarters, hip hop police. They're not thinking hip hop headquarters, hip hop courtrooms. They're not thinking hip hop headquarters, hip hop training, hip hop sick pay. They're not thinking hip hop maternity leave. They're not thinking hip hop retirement. All they thinking is hip hop headquarters. That's music. That's the music industry. They're not thinking all these different hip hop 401k ideas implemented into the process where McDonald's has has sick pay. McDonald's has vacations. McDonald's has retirement. You can retire, vacations, and sick pay all day long at McDonald's. But when I say hip hop sick pay, hip hop vacations, hip hop retirement, it's like some type of resistance that's automatically lodged in place. Like hip hop, it doesn't deserve all that. It's the betterment of humanity right now. So when you got that being my initial approach, this vaccine situation presented itself, and I said, listen, do this, and this. I didn't put it on the back burner hip hop headquarters, but I'm the same person. I'm that person. I'm the same person. If I'm going to organize a hip hop headquarters, when this vaccine show up, I'm not letting no vaccine take over my hip hop headquarters. Are you crazy? Are you crazy? Hip hop is the most creative environment to be in a pandemic, and without a pandemic, and you have the liberties of being who you are. You have the liberties of being creative and the fruits of your efforts flourishing. You have the room to grow. When you're in that office space and that's your job, you have room to grow, sure, but it's crammed in there with all those different personalities and decisions being made. It's not the same in hip hop. While you do have controversy in hip hop is not everything is made out to be either. Because you get shot in hip hop. You get in fights in hip hop. It's violent. It's abusive. It has all of the above, but it's liberties involved also. It's freedoms in hip hop. Needless to say, move that to the side for a moment. That was my initial approach, hip hop headquarters. Move that side for a moment. Pandemic. China, pandemic, vaccine is where we are right now. All right, everybody, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to compose a gavel plaque with a composition of vaccines, and we're going to follow the chemistry that I compose, and judgments along the way are going to be made, and decisions are going to be made in the direction of judgment. And I'm just that person. You may not accept it right away, but how much time do we have? We don't have much time. Novavax is about to join the team of COVID-19 prevention. Novavax is going to approach this situation, and Novavax doesn't appear to be playing around, going to Food and Drug Administration to be approved for emergency distribution. They don't appear to be playing around. So let's take this as serious as Novavax approaching the environment of vaccine distribution. Why not let's be as serious as the situation presents itself? Initially, it was serious, but it had no direction. The direction wasn't present. Now that the direction is present with a gavel being introduced by me, the process is it has room for correction. It has room for judgment. It has room for, room to think. You have time to think and say, well, this is not just hurry up and get the vaccine. Everybody's getting sick. That's not the case right now. Practice social distancing. Practice mask wearing. Wash your hands. All right. You doing that. You doing that. You doing that. All right. Now listen. This gavel plaque situation, Dolla50 has come up with a sound solution to a lot of the inconsistencies that were present, where we didn't know how to address the vaccine, the COVID-19 initially. We didn't know it even existed. It supposedly came from China, and we just were hit by surprise. So now that we have time, we have earned an experience in the field of vaccine distribution. Now we need to get down to business. Now we need to come correct. Don't ignore what I'm saying and then say you come in correct. That's not the judgment it's going to take to be correct in judgment. Judges are a panel of judges, and they come to a conclusion in a decision-making process. That's how things are done. That's how perfection is perfected in the world and the environment of judgment. So when you have a gavel where judgment is to be rendered, you have the opportunity to decide what happens to humanity, to America. America first and foremost. We can't take care of the rest of the world until we take care of America first. It's not going to happen. You're not going to put the world before America. Figure out what America's doing before you go into the UK saying we're going to help you with the vaccine process. Figure out what you're doing. We don't know what we're doing if we haven't been doing this even a year yet. We got hit with COVID-19 a year ago. A year ago is where we are. And, you go in the direction of perfection before you go in the direction of not knowing, of the unknown, into another area of the world. Don't venture out into another area of the world. Let's take this step by step and approach this vaccine distribution situation as seriously as it appears. Now, I'm not a pharmacist. I'm not that person to say, I'm going to be the president. I'm not the president. I'm not the vice president. I'm not I'm not Congress. So don't tell me something like I need to be this person that's perfect. I won't be that person. I'll be exactly who I am. I'm a hip hop representative doing a hip hop headquarter type of foundation. I'm establishing a hip hop headquarter foundation, and see me the same way I appear. I'm not hustling nothing. This is real information I'm generating, and you have the opportunity to say, well, we're going to go that direction. The same way as if I had a hip hop headquarter. If I had a hip hop headquarter and we reached the fork on the road with the vaccine process and COVID-19, and I showed up with real solutions on the table, you go with the real solutions on the table with the chemistry of the hip hop headquarters never being established. You have the creativity of all the artists, all the producers, all of the staff of hip hop in one location that can go anywhere in the future. It can be destructive, but it's not being destructive is my intent. Not to be destructive with hip hop. Hip hop can be destructive. My intent is not to be destructive with hip hop. When you see me make car commercials, it's not destructive car commercials. When you see me do real estate commercials, it's not destructive real estate commercials. Everything I do is futuristic. Everything I do has a perfection attached to it. So when I'm approaching the mainstream with this perfection, when I get to this vaccine situation, don't say I'm less precise than I would be if I was doing the hip hop headquarters. I'm the same person. You got people that don't take my judgment for what it appears right now. Their judgment is just ultimately realer than my judgment. It could be my skin color. It could be my demeanor. Whatever the case. The point that I'm making is follow the lead of precision and judgment before you pass the vaccine to another region, before you pass the vaccine out recklessly with no precision at all, no judgment, nothing. Just, we got the vaccine at CVS. Come and get it, everybody. That's real, but it's not as real as being precise as saying, well, the people that were just hired at this location, we want to order of the hiring process from this date to this date, and we're going to distribute the vaccine according to rank and time on the job, hypothetically. And the precision could be healthier. The precision could be in a direction of the future. It could be in a direction that everyone can digest. Let's not talk stolen treasures, dead remains right now. Let's not talk oppression, slavery right now. Let's not talk reparations. Let's not talk, the way I was talking earlier about it's all mine. Because if it is all mine, I want all mine, no doubt. I want all mine, no doubt. If you want to narrow this down to a judgment-like process that's going to reflect everyone doing good, then let's do that. Don't be hypocritical and say, well, we're going to steal his idea. We're going to just do it on our own. We don't need him. We just listen to him long enough to use his information, and it's all about us anyway. We're women. We run this joint. We run this joint. We just take his information. Well, how many kids he has? I got 25 kids over here. I'm in charge. When that happens, judgment is not being rendered. That's what I'm saying about the process not having judgment, not having precision. When you have a gallows block, you have room for judgment, decision making. You have room for correction. You have room for, it may be mistakes, but it's going to be some decision making to correct those mistakes. It's not going to just be some haphazard way of doing things, and then we're going to venture off into another part of the world. That's not going to be that good for the knowing how to deal with these pandemic extremes when they resurface as a new strain, when they resurface as a riot, when they resurface during the presidency, when they resurface when they keep resurfacing and keep resurfacing, no room to decide, just jumbling information the whole time. Let's be a little more correct. Follow my lead. I got a gavel plaque. I'm restructuring the gavel plaque. Let's go this way. You can go that other way, but that other way is, all right, Moderna, all right, Johnson Johnson, all right, Pfizer, all right, UK, we got some stuff over here. Here, take some of that. That's not what we're doing. It's not feasible to feed human beings, nothing that looks that ridiculous. That looks ridiculous in reality. You just, in McDonald's, and when business picks up, you're at McDonald's. Now, when you look at the order of McDonald's, how it's ran, how it's structured, it's in the same place as a gavel. Decisions are made, but it's structured. It's the same way you go, the same way Moderna, Pfizer, and Johnson Johnson went to Food and Drug Administration, the same exact way. When they went through the Food and Drug Administration, that's a gavel-like process. Judgments are made, questions are asked, corrections, decision-making, everything. That's the environment of the vaccine being in no less of a place than a gavel plaque. If you go through that process of Food and Drug Administration, questioning what you're doing, how you're going to do it, when you're going to do it, and then you get to a reality of a gavel plaque with vaccines in place, with distribution centers, FedEx, UPS, United States Postal Service, delivering the information to its destination, exactly to its destination, mathematically with barcodes and scan guns. This is not no game once you go. When I'm talking a gavel plaque, take into account when this process goes through Moderna, Pfizer, and Johnson & Johnson is one thing. But when it gets to FedEx, UPS, and United States Postal Service is another. They're scanning everything. It's going exactly to its destination, but it doesn't have the precision of judgment from the gavel to its destination. You went through the decision-making process of Food and Drug Administration, but you didn't get to the gavel. The gavel is where everything starts. Everything starts at the gavel process. Distribution goes from FedEx, UPS, United States Postal Service to its destination. From Moderna, Pfizer, and Johnson & Johnson. From there. So when you distributing from Moderna, Pfizer, and Johnson & Johnson without the gavel plaque, without the precision of Dolla50 combination of chemistry, you don't know where your information is going to go because it may reach its destination, but the time may be off. Everybody might be at rest. Everybody might be on vacation. You don't know exactly what's going to happen. When you have a gavel is pretty much a program geared for perfection. A gavel is going to be geared for perfection. It's a better way of doing things for the future. I close with saying peace, Dolla50. Make your donations to the 1,000 Million Foundation. This is not a free ride. I also ask for you to subscribe and throw your likes at Mad Butter by Dolla50 website, new YouTube channel. I also say peace, peace and happiness and liberty to all America. Peace. You already know. Dolla50.